if those countries that we're competing with are using non-competitive practices like forced labor or state ownership, significant state cash subsidy of the products. So we've had to fight that battle in the Farm Bill, and it particularly comes up around sugar. My view on this is, I represent 900 families that are a part of the sugar growing business.
Right. Michigan Sugar.
Michigan Sugar. It's a cooperative. It's a grower-owned cooperative. It's the easiest thing in the world for me to go to bat for those folks, and we've been able to successfully prevent, the sugar program in this country from allowing cheap sugar to be dumped into our market and really hurt our growers.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We're talking to Congressman Dan Kildee. I'm sorry, we're not going to take any phone calls because we have limited time with the congressman this morning. We will be back. Let me take a moment to tell you about my friends at McDonald Ford, where I've been buying my cars for many, many, many years. In Freeland, the McDonald family, I've known them almost since I arrived in town back in 1974. Good friends of mine, and Tom McDonald Jr. and Tom McDonald III are the owners of the dealership out there in Freeland. And they want you to know, they're more than just a Ford dealer, even though it says Ford in their name, because they have an extensive pre-owned lot with all kinds of cars from all kinds of manufacturers. All have been through a 100-point process to inspect those vehicles so you can drive them with confidence. And if you do have a problem, they have an enormous service department that handles not only the smallest of repairs, maybe you need a wiper replaced or something like that, up to major repairs. They also have the Drive Collision Center for body work, and they have the quick change lanes for your oil changes and routine maintenance. You're going to find it all at McDonald Ford, but best of all, you're going to be part of the family because it is a family dealership and they want you to become part of the family. Stop out and visit them today. 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. McDonald Ford, they are here to serve your automotive needs.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Banking turmoil continues to rattle investors. Shares of First Republic among the big losers, its stock plunging nearly 20% in the pre-market. This after S&P Global cut the regional bank's credit rating again, this time to junk status, and warned the $30 billion rescue package from big banks may not be enough. European bank stocks also tumbling after UBS agreed to buy rival Credit Suisse in what the UBS chairman described as an emergency rescue. And Foot Locker stock reversing early losses as it unveils a plan to expand its sneaker line and relaunch its core brand as part of a new lace-up strategy. The sporting goods retailer's stronger than expected fourth quarter weighed against weaker than expected guidance for the current year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
The Bay City Noon Optimist Club's 13th annual travel and adventure film series concludes Monday, March 20th at 7 p.m. at the State Theater in downtown Bay City. Join photographer and documentary filmmaker Brent Winebrenner for his fascinating multimedia show, India, on the Edge of Discovery. This show will take us on a journey to Rajasthan, the legendary wild and remote northwest corner of India, and provides an engaging window into this mysterious land and people. Along the way, we'll travel to Delhi and the holy city of Varanasi. Located on the sacred shores of the Ganges River, we'll encounter the wonders of this unforgettable country. Individual show tickets are $10 and are available at Herder Music and the State Theater. For info, call 989-893-9578 or visit BayCityNoonOptimist.org. Series sponsored by ABS Retirement Planning Advisors, Paramount Rehabilitation, Summit Printing and Graphics, Lake Michigan Credit Union, and Dr. Robert J. Holmes.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Swinging a line drive, base hit into center. Tigers win. And Miguel with the strut.
The countdown is on. 10 days until opening day. All season long, it's Tigers baseball on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Congressman Dan Kildee in the studio here at WSGW. I want to go back. I mentioned PFAS. Where are we with that? I mean, how far along are we in actually getting enough money to do the cleanup that has to be done?
Well, we're not quite there yet. We did get some significant resources in the last part of the infrastructure budget, as a matter of fact, to clean up PFAS.
This has been a big issue of yours.
It's a big issue, and really it's because the district that I previously represented included Oscoda, Michigan, which is where the Wurtsmith Air Force Base was located for so long, and then obviously that was closed, but left behind were these dangerous chemicals in the groundwater, and that began to affect people in Oscoda. That came to my attention. And like most issues, what we advocate for is a direct reflection on what's going on in the district. I'm a representative, and so that's what got me into this. So I now co-chair the PFAS task force in Congress, along with a Republican named Brian Fitzpatrick, good friend of mine, one of the problem solvers, as a matter of fact. And, we pushed for more resources to clean up, mostly through the Department of Defense. And I have to admit, both Democratic and Republican administrations, this one included, I'll be critical of my own administration, president of my own party, the Defense Department does not take this matter seriously enough. They have some responsibility to come to us for mistakes that were made unwittingly, to be fair.
Yeah, nobody knew at the time.
Right. But it doesn't erase the fact that somebody has to take care of it. And the most logical source is if the Defense Department put the substances into the ground through the use of, this firefighting foam, then they should take the lead in being responsible for cleaning it up. And so we're getting there. A lot of our attention is also on passing policy that prevents new PFAS from coming into the environment by encouraging alternatives to be found. We've made some progress, for example, in moving away, forcing the Defense Department and airports actually to move away from the use of PFAS firefighting foam to these alternatives that are now becoming available. It's ubiquitous. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
But we have to do everything we can, and that's what we're focusing on in a bipartisan fashion.
And one of the things that some of the notes I had here, you've introduced legislation that would repeal a Biden administration rule holding foreign solar companies accountable for violating U.S. trade law.
Right. It's a bit of a complicated issue, but it's one where I differ with the Biden administration and have introduced legislation to overturn a decision they made. The short version is back in 2012, there were tariffs placed on Chinese solar material being produced through, China's typical behavior, uncompetitive practices, theft of
which hasn't changed.
And so the United States says, okay, you're going to continue to do this. We're going to put tariffs on these, on this particular set of products around solar material for solar energy, et cetera. And so that was going forward. And then a handful of companies, Chinese-held companies, began to circumvent those tariffs by moving the material to other countries in the Asian sphere, Cambodia, Thailand, etc. The need to get solar energy stood up is, I think, a higher priority for so many people that they're willing to look the other way when these tariffs are being circumvented. I disagreed with the Biden administration decision to not impose, to essentially pause those tariffs, because it was a way for the bad actors who were being manipulated through their Chinese companies circumventing American law. And so my view is I'm all about producing new alternative energy. We have to take an all of the above approach. It's going to take a lot of time and effort. And I want to deploy that as fast as we can, but not look the other way when it comes to these abuses that Chinese companies engage in and pretend that they're not moving that material through another country because it's less expensive to deploy solar material. My view is we should build that stuff here anyway. We have incentives to build it here. One of the incentives is that we're not going to let Chinese companies dump their products and compete against American companies. And I just don't think it makes sense to look the other way.
Let me ask this question in a very, very generic way. How serious is the threat of China to our way of life?
It's serious. It's not something we can't address, but it's very serious in the sense that the Chinese economy has continued to grow. They actually do, in sort of demographic sense, have some disadvantages. They're not a growing population; they're a shrinking population. So over time, we may have some advantages, but their willingness to reach across the globe and engage in the development of big infrastructure projects, for example, in other parts of the world, creates a pretty significant reach for the Chinese economy. I believe the only way we can address it is by organizing democracies across the globe, and particularly the West, a stronger alliance between the United States, Europe, Great Britain, and then some democracies like India, Australia, to take on China's bad practices, much more effective than what we've seen recently, where I think President Trump was right to take China on, but it didn't work as well as it could have because it was just the United States acting against China, and that's not enough.
You mentioned one player, India, and I'm not sure which side of the seat they're sitting on.
That's the issue. Prime Minister Modi, with whom I've met, is doing what he can to advance the economic interest of India, and he will partner with anybody, and that includes China.
Yeah.
My view on that is, if we're going to offer an alternative, we have to get serious about it. So I think the United States engaging both India and then, for that matter, engaging more completely on the African continent, which is where China, Russia, Iran, others are trying to, make a foothold, is in our long-term best interest. And the way to do that is trade. The way to do that is taking a page out of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, which is a really high standards agreement, and use that approach to U.S.-India trade relations, to moving on to the African continent with Kenya, for example, or I think we should be engaging in Sudan, where there's a democracy movement that is in need of support. Global trade, which is something I spend a lot of time on, is an expression of our values, and it's also the use of American soft power that will take China on where they're trying to establish a foothold. We can beat them any day if we have an even playing field, and that's what we need to shoot for.
The congressman is tight on time, so I'm going to take a break, come back, and just spend a couple of more minutes. So he's off to his next assignment. A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You make contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years, even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Steve, what is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintbull? You'll find any reason to go to Paintbull.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Gotta go.
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. Tomorrow sounds like hydrogen being added to natural gas to make it more sustainable. It sounds like solar panels generating thousands of megawatts. And it sounds like carbon being captured and stored, keeping it out of our atmosphere. We've been bridging to a sustainable energy future for more than 20 years. Because what we do today helps ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
At Staples, school is always in session, and savings never take a holiday, especially now during Staples Teacher Palooza. You save big on everything for school, like 20% on all Crayola products, up to 40% on brands like Post-it, Papermate, and Elmer's. Plus, 80-count Lysol disinfecting wipes are only $1.99. During Staples Teacher Palooza, teachers save big and so do you, with classroom deals for everybody. But deals end soon, so hurry to Staples today. Offers end 3/25, in-store only while supplies last.
RocketGrabPlus.com. We have an exciting new deal on RocketGrabPlus.com. You're going to get a trip in a limousine bus to Firekeepers Casino and Resort on April 23rd for just $50. Normally $100, this deal includes $20 in free slot play, $5 in points for all guests, and transportation in a limo bus provided by Mid-Michigan Limousine. There are a limited number of seats on this trip, so head to RocketGrabPlus.com and reserve your seat today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Why can't you borrow money from a leprechaun?
Why is that, David?
Because they're always a little short.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
We are
in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Sorry about that. We're chatting with Congressman Dan Kildee this morning. He's only got a couple of minutes left. So you were certainly one of those in the forefront of trying to get insulin reasonably priced at $35. And now Eli Lilly has said that's what they're going to do. It didn't have immediate effect, did it, when it was passed?
No, and that's a lot of the legislation that we put into effect doesn't start right away. Either at the end of the year or like the biggest change will be having Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices, which we've never been able to do before. That doesn't start for a while, a couple of years. So, I prefer to see this stuff happen overnight. On the insulin piece, that's coming very soon, but it's only for Medicare recipients.
Right.
The cap at $35. The way I originally wrote the law would be for any insurances. We are reintroducing that legislation. I prefer to do it all at once, but I also know that sometimes progress is incremental. So we're going to just continue to work on it.
In a lot of ways, it's a compromise to get it passed.
It is, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So what do you see as the big issues facing you right now?
Well, I think obviously trying to make sure that we have the ability to get through the economic condition that we're in right now. Inflation is an issue. It's coming down, but not fast enough. But my issue is a reflection of the needs of the district. We need to bring home manufacturing. We need to support our growers. And for me, looking at the manufacturing base and the agriculture economy, those two pieces are what I spend most of my time on, trying to bring those jobs back that we lost, different kinds of jobs and different kinds of manufacturing. But we've got a manufacturing history here, a legacy to be proud of, and I want to grow it. And then do what I can to make sure that those, particularly those family farmers have somebody who has their back. And those two, if I succeed with those two, a lot of the other challenges that we face are handled when families have enough money to take care of their own needs. And that's really what that work's about.
Well, Congressman, I know your time constraints, so I'm going to let you go this morning, but I'm going to watch your associate's Chris face when I ask this last question.
All right. I'm going to watch it too.
When do you announce for president?
Oh, my goodness. Well, if I can get two endorsements, if I can get Art Lewis's endorsement and my wife's.
Mine you can have. Your wife, right. I'm not so sure about. Always a pleasure, Congressman.
Good to
Thank
see you,
you
Art.
for spending time, and we'll do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks
you
for being with us.
You bet.
Congressman Dan Kildee, we thank him for his time this morning. We'll take another break here. When we come back, we'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth, celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
It's big, it's loud, and it's lurking in your basement or your garage.
Honey, it's making that noise again.
It's your water heater.
If your water heater is on the fritz, call A-Plus Plumbing today. Let's replace that old clunker with a compact, high-efficiency, tankless water heater. From maintenance to repair to complete installation, A-Plus Plumbing handles all commercial and residential needs. A-Plus Plumbing, your tankless water heating experts. Online at aplusplumbingmi.com.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll is about cursive writing in schools. It's State Representative Brenda Carter from Oakland County who's introduced a bill that would encourage schools, not mandate, cursive writing in curriculum. She says it's more than students learning how to sign names. She says there are studies showing cursive writing helps children develop better with their memories, improve cognitive skills. Michigan does not have a statewide curriculum to teach cursive, but could provide districts some programming to do so. 21 states actually do mandate schools to teach cursive. So our poll question is, what do you think Michigan should do? Should Michigan schools teach cursive writing? You could say yes, encourage it, but not mandate. You could say yes, it should be mandated. You could say no, you could say I'm not sure. We want you to vote. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down that homepage, find that poll box, and make your vote that way. Do you write cursive, Patrick?
Only with my signature, but that's it.
Okay.
Actually, I do. I write in cursive all the time, and it was faster.
I go back and forth.
I can't do that.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and let's go to our phones, and we have Charlie in Hemlock this morning. Charlie, good morning to you. Whoop, just a minute here. Let's try this. Charlie, good morning to you.
Morning, Art. How you doing?
We're doing all right, thanks.
Art, on Saturday, our Hemlock girls varsity Husky basketball team took the title Division III state championship Saturday.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I just want to say congratulations to our young women and to the other team. It was Blissfield. They did a great job too, and both teams played their hearts out. But I'm a former board member of the Board of Education at Hemlock, and it was so good to hear our win. And it gave our community a lot of pride in the school district and in our community, Art.
Yeah, well, very good. Be proud of them.
Yep, and one thing that people might think about, it takes a lot to get there. It's the long practice, a good coaching, Mr. Newmeyer. But before that even starts, Art, it's when these young girls are in middle school and the parents are taken into basketball practice and support, and it goes all the way up to the top. And maybe it's their first basketball their uncle got them or grandpa got them for a Christmas gift. But
that's it.
I just want to say congratulations again to our Huskies and Hemlock and Mr. Newmeyer for a fabulous season.
All right.
Also the other team, Blissfield.
Yep, very good.
Head up right, girls. You did a fine job.
Excellent. Very good. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate it.
Okay, Art. Thanks.
Take care, Charlie. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. All right, that was Charlie in Hemlock. It's, I think it's wonderful to acknowledge these things. I don't think he's on hold, though. They just gave me a note about somebody, but I don't think he's on hold. Unless it's that one. Let me see here. All right. Is this Errol?
You need retraining, sir?
Hey, no, we're having an issue with the phones. They can't provide me the information I need, so it's a guessing game.
Like everyone else. Anyways, are you a little tired of sports?
Am I what? Am I what?
A little tired of sports and want something else to watch for bed?
What should I watch instead of sports?
Okay, last night was the first night of CMU raising their annual money. Okay.
Yeah.
On that program, they had a Gregorian chant choir out of England, the top rated. Well, now you got to listen, sir. It's sunny out. Be nice. Anyways, you ought to see this act. It's not just church thing. It's the whole presentation. It is unbelievable how great that was. So if you get nothing to do, just turn it on tonight, sir. And this was the first night last night, so you know how long CMU and Delta and them go through.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at it and see. Let me know what you think.
All right, here's another one for you then, because on Delta's fundraising, I recorded the other night the doo-wop project.
Oh, yes.
Doo-wop music from the 50s. It was phenomenal. I've got it recorded. And
I'm going to watch that one also, sir. But one fanatic in the family for sports is enough, and it ain't me. That way.
I'm not a fanatic of sports. I enjoy sports. I enjoy watching baseball. I enjoy hockey. And now, actually, too, occasionally I'll catch a soccer match and I'll watch soccer.
I happen to be married to a Michigan State fanatic. Even the cats go climb on the ceiling when she's watching the basketball. And that stuff.
I have friends who are Michigan State fanatics, and I have some U of M fans too that are friends.
Yeah.
But the Michigan State fans, fanatic is a good word for the ones I know.
Yeah, well, and all of our kids that went in college went to Michigan State. I got a grandson that's going to U of M for an engineering degree. So
that's all right. Spread the wealth.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'll talk to you later, sir.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
That's Errol in Saginaw. We thank him for calling this morning. Lines open for you. By the way, are you happy? I asked that question for a reason. The list of the world's happiest countries is out for 2023. And as is the case, and has been the case, Scandinavian countries really top the list with a couple of exceptions. And let me do it backwards. Number 8, Switzerland. Number 7 is Norway. Number 6 is Sweden. Number 5 is the Netherlands. Number 4 is the exception, Israel. Number 3 is Iceland. Number 2 is Denmark. And number 1 is Finland. And Finland, I think, has topped that list for quite some time. And you may ask, well, where is the United States on this list? Well, we are on the list. We are in the top 20. We are the 15th happiest country. Canada is the 13th. So looking at it from the bottom, the 20th happiest country is Lithuania, followed by the United Kingdom at 19, Czech Republic at 18, Belgium at 17, Germany at 15, US at 15, Germany at 16, US at 15, Ireland at 14, Canada at 13, Australia at 12, Austria at 11, New Zealand at 10, and then the Scandinavian countries. So there you go. If you are happy, you are 15th happiest in the world. Congratulations. All right, let's talk to Susan in Bay City. Susan, good morning.
Hi, Art. Just listening to your program. A while back, you and I had a conversation, and I brought up the fact, I think I said something like, well, communism is moving into our country. And you basically said, whoa, you're going too far. And,
yeah.
And I said, well, we beg to disagree.
That's fine.
And I was reading my Newsmax magazine, and there was an article in there that was really interesting where a gentleman wrote that his wife had grew up in Ukraine under Soviet communism. And he said that and this was her point. She said that the people in America really need to wake up and recognize it for what it is, because employing terms like woke, progressive, left-wing, anti-fascist, it's just another name for communism. And It all started with
well,
yeah, and it really, and we're look at how we're losing free speech.
Well,
look how we're losing our right to our voting.
How are whoa. We're not losing all those things. Let me ask you a question, Susan. On election day, can you get out and vote? Anybody taking away your vote? No.
Yes, we can get out and vote, but do we know that it's tallied correctly in a lot of places?
Okay.
I'm not stating here. I feel that here in our state and at our little polls, I think we're doing well.
Very good. And who has taken away your freedom of speech?
Well, actually, the news people.
No, they haven't.
The people. Well, they're not reporting. They're not reporting.
Well, no, let me explain something. Okay, now I got you. Let me explain something to you. Let me explain the First Amendment. It guarantees you the right to free speech, correct?
Yes.
Okay, where does it guarantee you an audience? Let's start with that.
Oh, I see.
Where does it guarantee you an audience? Does it?
But
does it guarantee you an audience?
No,
okay,
no,
now, does it
audience.
guarantee that you will have free speech without consequence?
No, it
does not. Okay, thank you. Now you've explained it.
Yes. However, before, well, okay, let's go back to the fact that everything started under Obama's reign. It came in like the schools, the religion aspect, the attack on conservative people, the attack on anybody religious, this craziness with the poor children in school where their parents now are the enemies when they speak up against things that they don't feel are right. This is what I'm referring everything to that is totally wrong.
Okay, there are issues, and I will agree with you. There are issues that need to be addressed.
Yes.
But I don't view it as devastating as you do. I think they are issues that need to be addressed, and they need to be watched. But I think it's a far cry to say we're losing our free speech or our votes don't count. That's a far cry. And that's where I think we have a problem today with both sides. Both sides tend to exaggerate the degree to which one or the other is suffering. And I find that to be a problem. And I understand what you're saying. And don't get me wrong, I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that I just don't think we're in threat of that. There are things that worry me. Don't get me wrong about that either. But we do have to be diligent about them. And
what gets me is on equal justice. On equal justice with our police force. You know, the police are always wrong, it seems like.
Well,
and, you know, they're quitting in droves.
Understand this, though. This is a fault of the press. They're only going to report the negatives. That's too bad.
Well,
all right, I got to go because I'm out of time. We'll continue this conversation, Susan. Thanks. Bye-bye now. We'll be back.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
This is Nick Chouquette. I lost a lot of money on a failed landscaping business and had to move in with my dad. After attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I went from having no job to $1 million in revenue on Amazon just 2 years later.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Frost's seminar attendees generated over 1 billion, or to be clear, over 1,000 millions in sales on Amazon. Attend Dylan Frost's The Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. For the greater Saginaw area, register at thewholesaleformula.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. You're going to get half off of an adventure at the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. It's usually $43, but you are getting it for just $21.50. Fly through the air, swing through the trees, and challenge yourself on the aerial obstacle course. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, there is a course level for you. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
All right, that'll do it for this first hour. We'll be back with more after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Paul Gauguin Cruises.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. UN scientists issued a new report this past hour warning the world is on thin ice. The only way to save it, they say, is with an immediate and drastic shift away from fossil fuels.
The climate panel's chief scientist, Ho-Sung Lee, warned the current pace of change won't be enough to slow, let alone stop global warming.
We are walking when we should be sprinting.
Nearly 800 of the world's top climate scientists contributed to the report, which has been approved by countries attending the week-long meeting. But implementing its recommendations may take more commitment than they've shown so far. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
On Wall Street, markets are higher. The Dow up 351 after global stocks tanked earlier today, then recovered some on news UBS would buy its rival Credit Suisse for $3.2 billion. Market analyst Art Hogan.
I think that the market is breathing a sigh of relief this week that there wasn't another shoe to drop. And by that, I mean, there's not a new name in the mix that we're concerned about.
The Fed meets this week to decide on whether to raise interest rates again. My dear friend, that's what Vladimir Putin is calling China's Xi Jinping, who's just arrived at the Kremlin for meetings with Russia's president, hoping for more support for his war. Correspondent Ramy Inocencio is in Ukraine.
Xi Jinping's arrival to Moscow is a strong show of solidarity for Vladimir Putin, and this is something that the Kremlin will no doubt exploit, but it's also the optics of Xi shaking hands with Putin.
Just in, a high school in Arlington, Texas is on lockdown after a shooting on campus this morning. Officials say 2 students were injured at Lamar High. There's no word on their conditions. Police say 1 suspect is under arrest, but the investigation continues. Plans for a strike are still on in the nation's second largest school district. Custodial workers, bus drivers, food servers, and others in LA say they'll walk out tomorrow demanding higher wages, and teachers will honor their picket lines. KCAL TV's Lori Perez.
If there is a walkout and schools remain empty, plans are already in the works to keep 600,000 LAUSD students busy, safe, and in many cases, fed for 3 days.
The FDA is asking Congress to close what it calls a gap in oversight of infant formula. CBS's Alexander Tin.
Baby formula manufacturers already quietly look for signs of bacterial contamination in baby formula lots before they have been distributed. Now the FDA is calling on Congress for authority to mandate that manufacturers disclose when their tests are starting to turn up positive, even if the contaminated formula hasn't made it yet to store shelves.
An Abbott recall led to a nationwide shortage last year. This is CBS News.
CBS News is brought to you by Paul Gauguin Cruises. Artfully authentic, all-inclusive year-round cruising to Tahiti and the South Pacific. Visit pgcruises.com today.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Score cash every day with March Money Madness. The excitement starts on March 14th and continues through April 3rd. Each day from 5 to 7 p.m., 6 star players will win $1,000 premium play. So be there for all the madness. March Money Madness. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway. Reimagine. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Deb's constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her do her part.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 30 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Denise Shannon. Police in Saginaw are investigating after 2 men were shot at the site of a traffic crash Saturday afternoon. According to Michigan State Police, the 2 men, aged 18 and 19, were in a vehicle driving the wrong direction at high speeds while fleeing from 2 other men from Saginaw. Police say that the victims crashed with a third vehicle and the 2 19-year-old suspects approached and shot them. Investigators say the shooters then fled, caused another crash, and ran away on foot. The 2 men were arrested nearby. According to police, the men who were shot were taken to the hospital, where one remains in critical condition. A 33-year-old Saginaw man is in custody after an alleged rape and handgun assault on Saturday morning. Saginaw police say they were called to a local hospital for a report of a 22-year-old Saginaw woman who had been raped at gunpoint. She told police she met the suspect on the dating app Tinder and met him at his residence in the 1100 block of Morris Street in Saginaw. Police say the suspect was not cooperative with detectives when they arrived at the home, but he was arrested and lodged in Saginaw County Jail on a charge of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. The Bay City Commission meets again this evening at 6 o'clock. On the agenda is a presentation on electric vehicle charging in the city. Commissioners will also vote on whether or not to proceed with issuing bonds to help pay for replacement and repairs of fire stations within the city, as well as a municipal vehicle refueling station. WSGW News Time is 10:07.
When you're up in your sprayer, working your soybean fields, where are you looking? In front of you, so you don't roll into a ditch? To your sides, to see how the boom is doing? Over at your monitors? Down at your phone? Probably all those places. But there's one more place you should look. Straight ahead into the future. Because how you're farming now will affect how you're able to farm over the next few seasons. If you're only using one side of action, weeds will only become more and more resistant to your preferred chemistries. That's why, if you've made the smart decision to plant Enlist E3 soybeans, don't stop there. Protect them with Enlist herbicides. Their superior tank mix flexibility easily allows for multiple sites of action. Together, you're able to better protect your soybeans and manage resistance beyond this season. Visit Enlist.com to see what a better weed control system can bring to your fields, now and tomorrow.
A motorcyclist is dead after a crash in Monroe County. Monroe County Sheriff deputies responded to a crash just after midnight Sunday morning near Dixie Highway in Frenchtown Township. Investigators say 34-year-old Joseph Hogue was driving his Harley-Davidson motorcycle when he lost control when attempting to go around a curved road. He drove off the road and hit a tree and a utility pole. Deputies found Hogue on the ground. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Police officials say he was not wearing a helmet, and speed and alcohol are factors in that crash. Another elected official is eyeing a Senate seat that will be open soon. Michigan News Source's Cheryl Fritz has the story.
Pamela Pugh, the president of the Michigan State Board of Education, said she is considering a run for the U.S. Senate seat being vacated by retiring Senator Debbie Stabenow and will make a decision in the next month. Pugh from Saginaw is a former State House candidate who won a second 8-year term on the statewide Board of Education last fall with over 2 million votes. For Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz.
Representative Elsa Alyssa Slotkin announced in February that she would be running for the seat held by Debbie Stabenow since 2000. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 989-752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Denise Shannon.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper 40s. Southwest winds around 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 30. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 31. By Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high of 49 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy skies and a high around 52. Thursday, a chance for rain, cloudy and breezy, high of 52 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly cloudy sky conditions, and we'll see high around 44. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 35.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center is our sponsor at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, new product line. Stop and visit them today. Westside Decorating Center. Open phones later on in the hour, but we're going to start out talking about something that's happening tonight in Bay City at the State Theater. It's another in the Travelogue series. And we have with us this morning the man who produced this particular travelogue, which happens to be on India. And we say good morning to Brett Winebrenner. Brett, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thanks
How
for
you doing
joining us.
today?
Very well, thanks.
Good.
All right, so a number of questions. Let's start out with why India?
Well, I had the very good fortune to travel to a whole bunch of places, and India wasn't one place that I had been. And I was teaching photography at a school here in California, and we had a 5-week break, and I was able to take advantage of that 5 weeks and go. And I was shooting pictures for some stock agencies, and I thought India, you know, because it's growing in business, would be a great place to go and take advantage of that. So,
was it everything you expected when you got there?
That and more. It's definitely unlike any place I'd ever been on the planet. At times it seemed like it wasn't even the same planet. Incredibly colorful, culturally very, very different from the United States. Beautiful, long history. People love to be photographed. They're gracious, straightforward, but gracious. And yeah, it was really a good trip.
Speak a lot of English?
Yeah. Yep. In places, no. I'm a budget traveler, but this time I hired a driver who I had for 15 days. It just proved to be affordable, and where English wasn't spoken in the countryside, that made a lot of difference. But certainly in the metropolitan areas, English is widely spoken.
So in producing this travelogue, which is going to be tonight at the State Theater, did you have a point of view or a message you were trying to deliver, or is this just an overview of what this country is?
What I'd like for people to come away from it with is a sense of what India looks and feels like. It's certainly in the places that I went to. I didn't go with an agenda. I didn't go with a story in mind. I went to take pictures, primarily singles for resale. So it doesn't have a overarching social theme or anything like that. What it is a visual feast, I would like to think, of India in Varanasi, which is an ancient holy city, Delhi, the capital, and then the northwest state of Rajasthan. So I think somebody going to this show tonight would come away from it with a really robust sense of what India looks like and feels like.
I got to ask this question outside of the travelogue, mainly because I'm one way. I want to see what you are. Nikon or Canon?
Neither. Sony.
It pains me.
No, but at the time that I shot this, these were all shot on Canon.
Oh, good.
So
All right. I feel better
yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's my choice. I got a couple of bodies that I shoot all the time. That's good.
Good.
I just had to ask.
Good.
Anytime I run up against a professional photographer, the first thing I do is look at the name on the camera.
Yeah, I know.
So what got you into this? What got you into photography as your career?
Oh, I had a high school teacher who encouraged me. You know, like so many people, the first time I saw a print come up in the chemical bath in the dark room, I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grew up in Ohio in a small town, and at the time that I grew up, photography really wasn't a viable career unless you were shooting, you know, weddings and graduation pictures and things.
Right.
But I was really intrigued, and this woman encouraged me, and I got hooked, and it was always a dream of mine. And it wasn't until midlife that I finally pulled the trigger, and I went to a photography school here in California and launched a freelance career. And then I've migrated more into video in recent years, but it was a dream that was deferred for 20 years.
So when you go to a country like India and you take all of the video and stills that you want, when you're shooting, do you work from a storyboard? Do you know where you were going, or did you just shoot and then you put it together later?
In India, I shot very opportunistically. So I went out onto the streets, and one thing what I did, and it's not hard in India, a lot of places when you go and travel, you find that if you're shooting people pictures, you obviously go where life takes place, and then you park yourself and you watch and you shoot what comes to you. In India, there's so many people that's almost impossible not to do. So I found that shooting in India was really productive. I got a lot of images very quickly, but I didn't storyboard anything here because it was just, you know, kind of drinking images through a fire hose, and I didn't have an overarching story in mind. It's interesting you ask. I'm going to Guatemala tomorrow night and working on a film, and that will be very much the opposite case. We'll be shooting very intently towards an end goal of a specific story.
So you take all this footage from India and you put it together. So take us through the progress of what we're going to see tonight at the State Theater in terms of India.
Okay. So what I did with India was I organized it geographically. And so we're first going to be we're going to arrive in the capital city of Delhi, and we're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to go to the ancient city of Varanasi, and we're going to visit the Ganges River, which is a holy river in India and is very sacred and close to Hindus' hearts. So we're going to take a pretty deep visual dive into the Ganges, and then we're going to walk through the streets of Varanasi itself. Many of the images are kind of self-explanatory, so I'm going to tell a few stories about traveling in India, as well as giving, you know, some historical background and local color. From there, we'll go to the state of Rajasthan, which is a fascinating, colorful place in the northwest. It's a very large desert, and there are a number of cities and towns in Rajasthan, and we'll go from city to city, and we'll end up in the far northwest in Jaisalmer before we head home.
Did you come away with a favorite?
Yeah, I think Jaisalmer is, it's kind of at the end of the earth. It's a beautiful old, I think, 12th century fortress sitting on top of a massive hill with incredible sandstone structures. It's small enough to be digestible. I think it's maybe 80,000 people, lots of tourists, but it's more relaxed than many places in India. So I fell in love with Jaisalmer.
Very good. Well, it's the Noon Optimist series. India is featured tonight, and I think it's 7:00. Is that right? at the State Theater?
That's correct.
7 o'clock
Yeah,
at the State Theater.
Right. The doors open at 6. And what people will see tonight is not video, but a old-fashioned slideshow. We're going to look at lots of pictures that I'm pretty proud of.
Oh, really? Are you going to be there then?
I'm going to be there by Zoom.
By Zoom. That's why I was wondering. Yeah, we will get to see you though. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, Brett, thank you very much. Thanks for chatting with us this morning, and hope to see you later.
All right. My pleasure. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Brett Winebrenner, the producer of the travelogue you're going to see tonight, India, at the State Theater, 7 o'clock from the Noon Optimist Club. Let me ask how your sleep was last night. You know, today we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there, you really need quality sleep. And you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress, and they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or give them a call. 753-1757. Sanitary Mattress.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. Quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened mixed on Wall Street as investors weigh the situation in the banking sector. This after the Swiss government engineered a forced takeover by UBS of Credit Suisse.
The Swiss authorities will also kick in $9 billion on top of that $3 billion price tag to make sure that UBS and their cost to close this deal gets covered. Also, a $100 billion credit line just in case they needed some more cash. But this banking merger creates a giant $1.6 trillion balance sheet at UBS, and that's as big as Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank.
Fox's Susan Lee. And the world's largest coffee chain has a new CEO. Lakshman Narasimhan has taken over from interim CEO and longtime leader Howard Schultz, who exited his role today. Starbucks had previously said Mr. Narasimhan would begin his role April 1st. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Best-selling author David Horowitz's Final Battle is out, and it reveals the secret war to stop Trump and DeSantis for 2024. Final Battle names the names of the secret players and warns of the end of America. President Trump says you must get this book. Final Battle is at bookstores, or see the free offer. Call 1-800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to finalbattle611.com. Get it today.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a business of your choice. It's the WSGW Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Enter online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the winner. Businesses include Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Bay Landscaping, M&R Garage Door and Openers, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Midlands Sand Company, The Tech Laboratory, All Seasons Heating and Cooling, Delta Door Sales, Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, Roof Max, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Bonifant Cabinetry, Woolfiles Ace Hardware. The Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Deadline to enter is March 24th. Enter online at WSGW.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
An early image of the Pillsbury Doughboy has been discovered in the Bakery Mix building. The building dates back to 1949. The Pillsbury official story of the Doughboy being created dates to 1965. When was the real birth of the Pillsbury Doughboy? As far as the birth goes, the death goes this way, and this was the official obituary. Somebody created this. The Pillsbury Doughboy died yesterday of a yeast infection and complications from repeated pokes in the belly. Doughboy was buried in a lightly greased coffin. The gravesite was piled high with flowers. Doughboy rose quickly in the show business. His later life was filled with turnovers. He was not considered a very smart cookie, wasting much of his dough on half-baked schemes. Doughboy is survived by his wife, Play-Doh, 2 children, John Doe and Jane Doe. Plus, they had one in the oven. And he's survived by his elderly father, Pop-Tart. The funeral was held at 3:50 for about 20 minutes.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Why can't you borrow money from a leprechaun?
Why is that, David?
Because they're always a little short.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. And from now through 11:30, because we don't have a guest on Focus today, from now through 11:30, we will have open phones. Whatever you would like to chat about, give us a call, 989-752-6111, and we will get the conversation going this morning. This is going to be an interesting week, primarily for all the wrong reasons. It's going to be an interesting week because a former president of the United States could find himself indicted and arrested as early as tomorrow. That, of course, is President Donald Trump. It's going to be interesting to see how this comes about. I know that the Trump people have been saying this is the case they want to start with because they feel they're on safe grounds on this particular case. But it's going to be interesting to see how it transpires, what transpires, how the justice system handles it, because it's unique. It's not something that happens every day, to say the least. All right, let's talk to Carl this morning. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. I was wondering what your response was going to be to, Trump's announcement. A lot of Republicans seem to be circling the wagons around Donald Trump right now. Even some of the other candidates running for president.
Yeah, because And the reason is they look at this as a political attack. They don't look at this as a legitimate criminal process. And
Yeah,
if it were anybody else but this particular district attorney, I might challenge that. But this particular district attorney, it's quite conceivable that's exactly what he's doing. And we'll find out.
We haven't actually seen what the indictment is yet.
No, we got a pretty good idea. We got a pretty good idea. If there is one, that's true. But we got a pretty good idea. But the question is going to be the bigger question to me is, here's the bigger question. If the president is indicted and arrested, which follows, and goes to trial, if this district attorney wins the case in a court made up of a jury of peers, so be it. But if he loses this case, then there is a legitimate question as to why he did this. And
yeah, I think
it's going to play out.
When we see the indictment and we see the actual evidence, but like Speaker McCarthy already wants to investigate this, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, he's probably got a lot more insight. He's got a lot more inside information than we do. But let's look at this. I'll tell you what I would do. If I were going to investigate one of these people, I'd investigate the New York State District Attorney, who before Trump even took office in 2016 was already ready to prosecute him on whatever she could find. Talk about political.
Well,
you talk about political, how much more political can it get?
That happens every day. Our prosecutors make their name going after other big names. It happens all the time in America.
Yep, that's true. That's true. But but in politics, to try and prevent somebody from taking office, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story.
But to interfere in an actual criminal investigation, that's pretty serious too.
Who's interfering?
And some of these Republicans are towing right up to that line, it seems. Now, I think
towing up to it, but listen, you can tow up to a line as long as you don't cross it. People do that every day. You tow up to the line every day. For example, if the speed limit is 70 and you're doing 74, you're towing up to the line, but you didn't cross it because the tolerance is usually higher than that. It happens every day in life. People tow up to the line all the time.
Well, there's going to be more indictments after this.
How do you know that?
This is just, because I watch the news. There's going to be from
Yeah, let me ask you this.
Georgia, from the federal investigation.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If this goes to court and this DA loses, do you think others will take a different stand, or do you think that'll squash a lot of this other stuff?
Art, if this goes to court, that won't happen for a year and a half or more.
Maybe not. They may try and accelerate it.
No, and the other indictments are going to come down, I believe, in the next week or two, long before this goes anywhere near any kind of trial.
I'm not discounting the fact that there might be other indictments. I don't disagree with you there. But I think it's
going to help Trump in the short term, and this is going to help Trump in the Republican Party.
I agree.
In the long term, it's not going to help him in a general election.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure, and I'll tell you why. Because it's liable to rally the party around him to the point where they come out to prove a point. This can work both ways. In the short term. Absolutely. I think it's a big plus for him. And I think that's why his team wants this to go forward and go forward quickly. But in the long run, if all of these things come down and it looks like they're trying to set upon him, that could work in his favor. Don't discount that. That.
When you look at this and you say, gee, Georgia's going after him, New York is going after him, The Justice Department is going after him. So everybody is wrong. But
I don't
Donald
know.
Trump is right. Is that what
I don't know.
The message is?
I don't know. The Democratic I don't know. The Democratic congressman went after him. Were they right? Russian collusion? No, they were wrong.
Well, who said there was no Russian collusion?
The investigation. They couldn't prove it. They couldn't prove it.
Who said that?
Adam Schiff said he had absolute proof. Did he show it? No.
No, but who declared
come on.
there was no Russian collusion, Art?
The committee would have brought charges if they thought there was. They would have done something.
That's not
Instead,
the same
they tried
as
to
him being vindicated.
Well,
that's not the same.
Okay. All right. So you robbed a bank yesterday, but I'm not going to talk about it, but you robbed a bank. We'll just leave it there. Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, you created an insurrection, and we're just going to leave it there.
I don't know. Did he create an insurrection?
Or you take documents. We're just going to leave it there.
Is there another side? Did he create an insurrection? I
Yes.
didn't hear him say "go riot" at the steps of the Capitol. Nobody heard him say that.
Well, you didn't hear all the stuff behind the scenes.
Neither did you.
All his minions and his calls to election officials.
All right. Listen, it's the way it goes. It's a matter of opinion. We'll leave it there. All right.
Okay, Art.
Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
We'll be back with more after these notes.
It's big, it's loud, and it's lurking in your basement or your garage.
Honey, it's making that noise again.
It's your water heater.
If your water heater is on the fritz, call A-Plus Plumbing today. Let's replace that old clunker with a compact, high-efficiency, tankless water heater. From maintenance to repair to complete installation, A-Plus Plumbing handles all commercial and residential needs. A-Plus Plumbing, your tankless water heating experts. Online at aplusplumbingmi.com.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Open phones right through 11:30 this morning. And we go back to those phones. Jeff is in Bay City. Jeff, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Is Carl, I think it's wonderful that he has such an unopened mind to the facts and Russian collusion, and it was proven that Hillary's lawyers wrote the thing up.
Steele dossier, yeah.
Yeah, the dossier that started this whole fake illusion, which I would love for our taxpaying dollars to be reimbursed from the Clintons.
Good luck for that.
Yeah, you got Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Pence all had private documents that they should not have had, but Donald Trump was president. All he had to do was look at it and say, this isn't top secret no more. He's the only one who had the power with the paperwork that he had. But Carl's like, oh, he had hidden documents. Well, if that's the case, Biden took them when he was vice president. That was how many years ago? You know, they had him in a building where his Chinese buddies invested in for right up the street from the White House. You know, it just mind boggles me. Oh, Trump is this terrible person. And you got all these people going after him. And why?
Well, why is easy.
Yeah.
They're afraid of him.
Yeah. Oh, but definitely.
They're afraid he'll get reelected.
Right. And they don't want him to be reelected because they want, I guess this Carl must love going to the grocery store and paying $3 for a candy bar.
Listen, I'm not going to. I'm not going to pick on
crazy.
Carl or anyone for their positions because their positions are as strong to them as yours are to you.
Yeah,
and that's what makes a horse race. So I don't pick on him because of that. I don't agree with him on some of his speech, but
with them,
that doesn't matter.
With the left and the Democratic Party, you know, with what happened in East Palestine, why are they all not out there protesting about this tragedy of this toxic pollution that just went into the air? You know, they're all preaching go green at our expense. We can't be energy efficient.
Oh, they preached on it. They blamed. They preached on it. Where were you? They blamed Donald Trump.
Because he was driving the train. It was all his fault.
It's all his. Everything is his fault. Nothing is their fault.
Right. And, you know, being energy efficient, you know, I guess that was a terrible thing for the United States.
And
we're not technically at war with Russia and China, but it's Trump's fault that,
Trump's the only one that stood up to him. Listen, I have to be honest. I am not a fan of Donald Trump. That's a personal thing, not a political thing. I think his policies were right for the country, but as a person, I have absolutely no use for the man.
I agree with you on a personal level. I don't know him personally to know, like, is he this or that? But what he was doing for all of us, it's mind-boggling to me how people are acting like he wasn't there for us, and he was. He represented us greatly, and I hope we can get somebody else in office that'll stand up and do what Donald did for all of us.
Well, that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of Trump coming back and doing it again.
Right. So, and making all of us better instead of just lining their own pockets.
Yeah.
So appreciate your time.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Jeff. Take care. Bye-bye now. Listen, it's one of the things that I have said many, many times about Trump is that, you know, as a New Yorker, I've known all about him for a long, long time. He is not my favorite person. I do not like him at all as a person. And I also have to tell you, I've talked to him 2 or 3 times now, and he's been very kind to me. Very nice. He's easy to talk to. None of that bravado or anything. So from that standpoint, I mean, I have no personal objections, but as a New Yorker and somebody who's watched him for a long, long time, I don't appreciate his personality and who he is, but I appreciate his programs. I appreciate his policies. And when I vote for someone, I vote because I believe their policies are the policies that I think are right for the country. Others have a different view. That's what makes a horse race. That's why we have elections. But I separate them, and I always have. And that's true the other way, too. I may not like somebody's policies, but I may like them as a person. I am not registered with either party. Let's start with that. My philosophies lean to the right. I am not far out. I lean that way. But I have many friends from the other side of the aisle who I respect, and in some cases love them as brothers and sisters. But we disagree on many, many things. The problem today is that, particularly on the major issues, we've learned how to yell and scream in this country. We haven't learned how to sit down and talk. We've forgotten how to do that. I have a very dear friend who's a Democrat. Matter of fact, two very dear friends who are Democrats. We disagree on most big policies. We usually do it over lunch or dinner because we're good friends, because we don't let politics get in the way of our thought processes. If you think only one side is right and nobody from the other side can possibly have good ideas, you're badly mistaken. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. All right, we're going to take a break and then come back, and we'll get to some more calls as soon as we return.
EFPTOZ.
What are you doing?
Testing my doubler vision.
Doubler vision?
So I don't miss the doubler message on my daily games tickets.
For a limited time, Michigan Lottery is printing doubler messages on random daily 3 and forward box and two-way tickets. If your winning ticket has it, you double your prize winnings.
Ooh, move over.
Hey.
EFP. Two can play at this game.
Don't miss daily 3 and 4 doubler days from the Michigan Lottery for a limited time this month. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Hello, lovers of camping. Welcome to the RV Show After Party Sale at General RV. This is where every RV comes with an RV show price. Up to 40% off motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. Yes, up to 40% off. You get an RV show price. You get an RV show price. Even you. Someday. March 22nd through the 26th only. And only at General RV. In Birch Run off I-75.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Deb's constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her do her part.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll is about cursive writing in schools. It's State Representative Brenda Carter from Oakland County who's introduced a bill that would encourage schools, not mandate, cursive writing in curriculum. She says it's more than students learning how to sign names. She says there are studies showing cursive writing helps children develop better with their memories, improve cognitive skills. Michigan does not have a statewide curriculum to teach cursive, but could provide districts some programming to do so. 21 states actually do mandate schools to teach cursive. So our poll question is, what do you think Michigan should do? Should Michigan schools teach cursive writing? You could say yes, encourage it, but not mandate. You could say yes, it should be mandated. You could say no, could say I'm not sure. We want you to vote. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down their homepage, find that poll box, and make your vote that way. Do you write cursive, Patch?
Only with my signature, but that's it.
Okay.
Actually, I do. I write in cursive all the time, and it was faster.
I go back and forth.
I can't do that.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW. Phone's locked and loaded, so let's get to them here. We have Mark in Midland. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, at one time you said that your account was hacked and your identity was stolen, so you got off of Facebook.
Twice.
But then a couple weeks ago, you had mentioned that you were on Facebook. What epiphany did you have to reuse that product that they stole your identity to reinstall it and use it again?
I had to. It has to do with the death of my wife. We'll leave it there.
Okay, fair enough. Did you know they use a pixel placer when you're shopping on Facebook and you're looking at products and stuff?
Yeah, they have all kinds of ways.
Well, that's how they track. Or a way of tracking system is it's called a pixel placer, and any ad you go to, it will bring that product up in the future.
Oh yeah, and then you see it all the time. I know it. I have started denying cookies, denying location. I've started doing all of that just because I'm so tired of all that stuff. There's another. There are other techniques in internet advertising called geofencing and things of that nature that can tell where you shop, and then everybody within that region within a certain distance from you, all of a sudden the ads start popping up. Listen, it's the world we live in today. It's information rich on stuff that we may not want out there, but by using the service, we're almost giving our tacit permission to use it. That's what happens.
Right.
So
that's one of the reasons why I prefer TikTok, is because on regular news stations, you get about 12 stories a day, 12 topics. No matter what stations you go to, Fox, CNN, they all have the same 12 stories, but they just spin it different ways. TikTok, you can go all around the world. Like yesterday, I was watching a French protest.
Problem is you don't know who's spinning it on TikTok.
Well, it's live stream. When you say that, I don't know if you're...
Some of it, yes, it's live stream so you can watch it. But by the way, what's happening to your information on TikTok?
I would assume it's the same information. I don't live that exciting of a life, to be honest with you.
Doesn't matter. It's your information. And even though your information in the hands of the Chinese, for example, might not mean anything, but it could mean something to somebody. I'm just not a fan.
You just sign up with a name and a first name, last name, and a phone number if you want to put it in there.
No, you've already given them more than I would.
Well, because Facebook does PayPal and all these other things that you have to put in there. And that's what I don't understand when you say spying and stuff. There's more information given off on Facebook than there is on TikTok.
And I how can I describe this? I've made my private information as private as I conceivably can.
Yeah.
And if I feel I'm having a problem, I'll dump them again and I'll live without them. I mean, I don't have to have them, and I don't visit them a lot. I did it for a specific reason. That's it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Good enough,
Fair
Mark.
enough. Take
Hey,
care.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye now. Next up is Rich in Saginaw. Rich, good morning.
Good morning. I have a photography question for you.
All right.
I've got an older Nikon film camera I just received, and I'd love to try using it, but I can't find anybody in the Saginaw area who processes film. Walmart will send it off for you, but I just assume not mail it.
Everybody will. I don't know if there's anybody around here that processes film anymore. They've all gone digital, and you almost have to send it off. And then first you have to find the film, and then you have to send it off. It's one of those issues where they've almost forced it out of our hands. It's digital or nothing anymore. It's not easy. I understand what you're saying, though, because I like film. I loved film. I love shooting with film. However, I also love shooting with digital because I get to see the image right away and know if I've got a good one or not. So there's pluses and minuses. But if you want to use that camera, you're going to have to send it off. And Walmart, if they send it off, makes it easier for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So good luck.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Bye. Last one up is going to be Chris in Bay City. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Good.
Okay. All I got to say is I thank the city of Bay City for making me a snow thrower repairman for all the asphalt that gets pushed up in my driveway approach every season. But they'll be by with their little truck and dump some more scoops in the potholes and call it good.
Yeah, well, it's not just Bay City, friend. It's everybody doing that because that's all they can afford to fix their roads.
I know.
I hear you, but it's something you're going to have to learn to live with.
The other thing I want to bring up really quick, because I know I only got a couple seconds, is take a walk around your house, everybody. Look at your downspouts. We're supposed to get some wet weather. Make sure your downspouts are pointed away from your house or your structures. And take a look at your dryer vent outside. Make sure there's no sticks poking out.
Yeah.
Birds are nesting now.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Good point. All right, you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. All right, that was Chris up in Bay City. We will take our last break here in a minute, and then we will be back to close out, but we're going to continue the open phones right through Focus this morning.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Now through April 10th, you can save big with generous rebates on energy-efficient shades that help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings event going on now. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
This segment of Our Community's Care is brought to you by the Saginaw Community Foundation. For the month of March, Saginaw Community Foundation proudly spotlights the Michigan Heroes Museum. The Michigan Heroes Museum exists to nurture the memories of people from Michigan farms, offices, and factories who heeded the summons to military service during America's foreign wars. From the Spanish-American War to the War on Terrorism, they are unique in the United States in that it is the only repository devoted to the wartime experiences of one state's people. They include a section dedicated to the Medal of Honor recipients, and this collection contains more Medals of Honor than any other museum in the United States. It is a shrine to ordinary lives caught up in and sometimes ended by the experience of war. Located in Frankenmuth, they hold over 900 exhibits, each devoted to a Michigan soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, or astronaut. Their mission is simply to honor, respect, and remember Michigan citizens personally.
by RoofMax. Safe, affordable, and easy alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out more at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, and it's with 2 X's. Welcome to Focus, brought to you by RoofMax, but no guest today. We're going to continue with open phones for the remainder of this half hour, right down till about 11:26 or thereabouts. And then we'll find out what's happening in the markets with Baird and Company. So that's what's ahead this morning. And we did have someone call in and say, and I mentioned this just before the news, we had a question from a caller about film processing. And he said Walmart sends it out. Someone called in and said they believed Walmart, someplace, is still processing 35 millimeter in this area. Now, I've not heard of that. And so it's possible, but I don't know. But either way, it appears Walmart is the place to go if you have 35 millimeter film and you want it processed here or elsewhere. Here or elsewhere. I mentioned earlier, very early on, after Congressman Kildee was here, the list of the world's happiest countries is out, the top 20. And the top 8, with the exception of 1, are dominated, exception of 2, I should say, are dominated by Scandinavian countries. It's always been thought that Scandinavians are the happiest people on earth for whatever reason. The other 2 countries in the top 8 were Iceland at number 3 and Israel at number 4. It is, to me, interesting that Israel comes in so high at 4th as the world's happiest countries, given the strife and the struggles and the Middle East in general. I was surprised to see that. And it was the only Middle Eastern country. But they are there at number 4. Iceland at number 3. I had heard those folks are happy up in Iceland. It has become a tremendous destination for U.S. travelers. Iceland is one of those bucket listers, the same way Alaska has been a bucket list for tourists for a long, long time. Iceland is becoming a bucket list. I can name, and this goes back to my years in the travel business, 14 of them to be exact, the places that I would consider bucket list for tourists outside of the United States and Canada. I'm doing that on purpose because, we in the United States, we have a lot of bucket lists that include things in the United States, the Grand Canyon, the out west parks, some Eastern things, Washington, D.C. There's a whole bunch of things that we could say are bucket lists for U.S. tourists, and Canada the same way. But the countries and the places in the world that I would think are bucket listers, outside of Alaska, Iceland has become one of those. Ireland has been a bucket lister for a long, long time. Switzerland is another of those bucket listers. And for many people, Germany is a bucket list country that they would travel to. I don't know how many are on your list, but there are a couple on mine. Now, I've done Switzerland, and I would go back to Switzerland in a heartbeat. It was, and I've been a lot of places in my life, that was the single best time of my life. As a tourist, as a people person, as a photographer, absolutely the best. All right, let's say hello to Hound Dog up in Oklahoma County. Hound Dog, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Hi there.
You're talking about film.
Yep.
I used to keep a camera on the dashboard all the time, and believe me, I've got some shootings. And just today, this morning, I put a piece of a letter, so not a letter, but a package. It's going to come to the studio. I addressed it, attention, Pat, Johnson.
Yeah.
Just if Pat can hear me, tell him to show everybody that, because I know he's the sports guy around there, ain't he?
Yep.
Yeah, just that's all. Yeah, and have a beautiful day and be nice to people. And but yeah, tell Pat not to take it home with him until he shows it to everybody.
Okay, I will. He will.
It's a classic, man.
Good enough.
Take care.
Thanks, Hound Dog. Bye now. All right. It's 17 after 11. Again, open phones till near the bottom of the hour. No guest today on Focus, but we're talking about these world happiest countries. I'll tell you more about Switzerland when we return after these notes.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden.
Let's go.
Wheat Farmer.
Yeah. What am I doing here?
You defeated Evil Dawn and saved your crop quality.
Well, yeah. I used Spherex fungicide on my wheat and barley.
Keep your secrets, man.
No secret, just best-in-class Dawn reduction.
So modest. A mighty hero indeed.
Be a hero with Spherex fungicide from BASF.
Always read and follow label directions.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. You're going to get half off of an adventure at the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. It's usually $43, but you are getting it for just $21.50. Fly through the air, swing through the trees, and challenge yourself on the aerial obstacle course. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, there is a course level for you. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
We are back with you here on WSCW for the next few minutes. Lines open at Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free 866-790-WSGW. I mentioned Switzerland, why my favorite. First of all, I'm a mountain guy. I love them. And to get up into the 12, 13,000 foot area with snow-covered peaks still above you and be able to photograph some of that stuff. Absolutely amazing. We were in Zermatt, where the Matterhorn and things like that are. And I took a train up, a cog railway train up to the top of one mountain. And I took 3 cable cars, each one ascending to a different height to get up to the top of another area where I took one of the best landscape photographs of my life. And I just was enthralled with the people, with the scenery, the way of life. Fascinating place. I'd go back in a heartbeat. Here is Mary in Bay City. Mary, good morning.
Hi, this is just a different subject. I was listening to, I think it was the tail end of this past week.
Yeah.
And you were talking to somebody about restaurants. There was one Italian restaurant that somebody mentioned. I believe it was in Midland, but it started with an M. I did bring it up on my phone and I ended up
no, it's not
doing away with it. Now I don't know the name.
It's not with an M, it's with a D. D'Alessandro's.
Could you?
Villa D'Alessandro's.
D'Alessandro's.
Yeah, I think it's D apostrophe. Let me look here, see if I can find it real quick.
Yep.
But it's
because I guess there was something about the food's really good there.
It is very good there. It is excellent, and it's the service is fantastic. It's everything you want. Let me see here. Phooey. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to go the other way and find it here. It's Villa D'Alessandro. Villa.
Thank you so much for looking up for me.
Oh, that's all right. All right. It's Villa D apostrophe Alessandro. Villa D'Alessandro and the Tuscany Banquet Hall. It's on I forgot the name of that road now. The way to go from, where are you, in Bay City?
Yes.
All right. So you take 10 across to the Eastman exit, get off at the Eastman exit, turn left, go onto the highway and turn left. I don't know if that's Waldo or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to go down to the next light is Jefferson, I think. You're going to cross that light and down about a quarter mile on the left, thereabouts, is Villa D'Alessandro. And they take reservations.
So it's called
Villa, Villa
D'Alessandro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can find them online, and the food is wonderful.
Okay,
thank
you very much, and have a good day.
Thanks. Bye now.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Yep, you got to like Italian. It's an Italian restaurant, obviously, but they do it right, and they have a nice variety. So there you go. It's my one of my favorite places. It was one of my wife's too. So, all right. We got time left to squeeze one more in real quick, but it's gone. So we won't have to worry about it. All right. So thank you all for listening, being with us today. I want to thank Congressman Kildee for coming in and chatting with us this morning. He had an interesting comment. We were talking about interviews and how they're done. And he said he loves coming in here because we can actually have a conversation. He says, most of the time I'm restricted. My answer's got to be 7 seconds long, And he says, it's just not conducive to good conversation. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We love doing what we do. We love doing it, how we do it, and we do it for you. So glad to be here and glad to do it. Take our last break, come back and close out.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh